Your constant state of reactiveness is what's going to get you taken out. It's not going to be the economy. It's not going to be the competitors. It's not going to be that customers are just cheaper now. It's not going to be that you're in a red ocean. Although those things do play a role, and I'm not saying that you want to negate those things, your constant state of reactiveness is what's getting you and keeping you stuck. And if you're not careful, what ends up happening is you end up making agreements with failures or with your failures that ends up tying you to that downfall. Here's what I mean by that. If you launch a new ad campaign and the ad campaign bombs, your sudden reactiveness is that sucked and therefore I suck. That failed, therefore I am a failure. And so now you're making an agreement about a situation that was just essentially an A/B test, especially if we're like talking about the marketing world, right? And you can use this example across different lines. It doesn't just have to be marketing. I just say that because if you're watching this content, odds are you're a business owner, and odds are you're a believer. And if you're not, then welcome to the channel. But the reason why so many people tend to sedate themselves with work and tend to sedate themselves with how they process their emotions, and they just want to mask it with work, 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 is because they don't want to confront themselves. And they don't want to make the separation between this is my business and I am the business owner, but the business does not own me. I own the business. But what ends up happening is that we end up tying our identity with what the business produces and how well the business does on any given day, any given week, any given month. And that's a dangerous game to play, because the minute that a business is naturally, by the way, if you're in business, if you've been in business for some time, that you know where I'm going with this. And if you haven't been in business for some time, that I'm going to save you some headaches, is businesses have natural periods where they are crushing. You projected for X amount in revenue and you surpass it, or like you projected for X amount of revenue and you end up falling well below what you were planning on. And I love this quote by Jeff Bezos, and I'm gonna paraphrase it. He tells his shareholders, if Amazon does 20% better quarter over quarter, you shouldn't feel smarter, because the minute that Amazon does 20% lower than what we were projecting to do that quarter, you're going to feel 20% dumber. And I thought that was a brilliant way of putting that, because if you are a business owner, and again, if you're tying your emotions, and if you're tying your identity, and if you're tying your value to how well your company produces, then you're going to get whiplashed, and you're going to end up finding yourself in that constant state of reactiveness, where the minute something doesn't work, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? I'm dumb. I shouldn't be in business. And you start attaching all of these labels just about, again, an experiment, or maybe a launch that didn't go like you planned. And I don't know if this video is going to reach anyone. It'll probably reach maybe two people, maybe reach one person. Even if this video addresses one person and that person is you, and you're thinking to yourself, like, this guy is speaking to me. I have been feeling like I've been attaching my identity to what my business produces or the lack thereof. Or I have been feeling like the minute something doesn't work, I'm scrambling and I'm trying to search for an answer, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm banging my head up against the wall, trying to figure out why this isn't working. I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. That is completely normal. That's part of the business world. That's not what's going to keep you stuck. You want to have alarm bells going off when something doesn't work. That's totally natural. That's when you iterate. That's when you fix. That's when you maybe introduce a new product line. That's maybe how you reposition what you're bringing into the marketplace. That's how you keep things fresh. This is how 100-year companies are still here. They're still selling the same product. They just found a different way to position it in the marketplace. But again, what does keep you stuck and what does get you in trouble is when you end up making those agreements. You end up going from this failed to I am a failure. This sucked to I suck. This wasn't a good idea to I'm dumb. I'm unworthy. I'm not good at this. I shouldn't be doing this. So you want to start removing that type of language. At least if I can leave you with any parting words that have helped me, remove that from your language and from your lexicon of how you communicate, especially to yourself, because there is power and there is life and there is death in the words and in the tongue and what you speak over yourself and over your situation.